Henry Fraser was just 17 years old when a tragic diving accident on holiday in Portugal left this aspiring rugby player paralysed completely from the shoulders down.
But his incredible resilience and his determination during his recovery led him to find a love of art and painting only with his mouth. His beautiful works have proved a hit with the likes of David Beckham and J.K. Rowling. And now there is a musical based on his memoir, The Little Big Things, and it has been praised as a total triumph. Very good morning to you, Henry.
Morning, Henry.
Good morning.
Oh, it's so good to see you. Now, I saw you when I went to see the musical a couple of days ago. You were beaming from ear to ear, saying, oh, let's get rid of that. That's irrelevant, that picture. That was... I got asked to pose outside. But more importantly, your picture at the musical, at the press night, you were on stage at the end of the show. It was just incredible. What is it like seeing an actor in a wheelchair playing out your life story? Because as I understand it, it's the first time an actor in a wheelchair has been in a musical.
Yeah, I think it's the first time ever on the West End, and it's it's an amazing thing to be part of, an amazing thing to kind of have my story as the vehicle for that and have that representation is amazing. And to have, disability kind of front and centre is amazing. And to see my kind of whole life and the most important kind of journey of parts of my life played out on stage is still a very surreal, very weird thing, but I'm definitely trying to enjoy it and definitely trying to just make the most of it and enjoy every moment.
And I'm not surprised. Do you know what? Someone said to me, is it a depressing story? Will I enjoy it if I go to see it? And I think something that will surprise people is that, Henry, the message that comes across is that you believe your life is better since your accident. Now, I wonder if you could just take people who may not know your story through what happened and explain to them why something as counterintuitive as my life is better since I was paralysed would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, my story goes back to 2009 when I had my life-changing accidents on holiday with my friends. And, I went through a lot of illnesses, a lot of very few kind of touch-and-go moments when it came to, actually being here and being alive today and all these things. And, people always say to me, I must have had this kind of strength and determination and resilience before my accident. And I really didn't. I was a very negative person. I always went into every situation thinking about the worst possible outcome, about, how I can get out of it rather than kind of tackle things head on and deal with them. I always found ways of just not dealing with issues in the right way or trying to get out of anything I possibly could. And then suddenly when I had my accident, before my accident, I used to kind of define myself by my physicality, by sport and being in the gym and all these other things. And suddenly I had to kind of move all that physical strength up into my head and think about life very differently and approach life very differently. And I was just kind of forced down that alleyway to do that. And it's made me a much, much happier person. It allows me to kind of deal with issues kind of that I really struggled with before my accident. It allows me to think about life in a much happier and much more enjoyable way. And I do that kind of every single day of my life. And without my accident, I wouldn't have had that. I'd still be in that negative mindset and worried and anxious all the time. But, without my accident, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy the life that I am now.
It seemed to me, I was fascinated reading all our notes about you last night. I mean, we've spoken before, but you've really moved on, actually, since I last spoke to you some years ago. And what really struck me was what you've learned and what your disability has taught you is how to savour life's moments. Most of us career through life at top speed, barely paying any attention to what's going on around us. But what's happened to you has made you stop and savour life. Is that a fair summary of one of the reasons you feel so much better about yourself now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the title of the book, the musical, The Little Big Things, is kind of how I live my life every single day. I reduce everything down to the smallest moments. And one thing I always say to people is, joy and happiness surround us all day, every day. It's abundant in our lives, but You know, we're always told happiness comes from kind of bigger external factors and all these things, but joy is all around us. And for me, that can be a cup of tea. That can be looking out the window and seeing nature, or feeling the sun on my face, or tiny things like that. And, you know, when you recognize those things, when you feel those things, when you're in the moment and experiencing that joy, you realize there's those moments are happening all day, every day. We just become numb to them because they are so abundant. And the reason why kind of these negative things kind of bring us down so hard is because they're the things that are few and far between in our day-to-day lives. But when you're able to see the joy and see the happiness in the smallest moments and the smallest things, it just lifts your spirits all the time. It puts you on a level that, you know, it puts me on a level I'd never experienced before. And it just makes me feel good. It makes me deal with things. I'm able to be in a much clearer headspace when something does happen, when something goes wrong. I can be clear in my head, be clear in my thinking, deal with it. And yeah, again, without my accident, I wouldn't have learned these things. I wouldn't have been able to experience these things at all.
Of course, since your accident, you have become the most remarkable mouth artist. You put a paintbrush into your mouth, and the level of detail in your paintings is remarkable. And amongst your celebrity supporters, pop icon Cher has one of your paintings. We did an interview with her a couple of weeks ago because she is trying to, well, she has done a successful rescue of an Asian elephant called Kavan from awful living conditions in a zoo in Pakistan. So our producer took a painting that you did, mouth painting of an elephant, gave it to the pop icon, and we have a special message for you from Cher.
Hi, Henry. I just wanted to thank you for this beautiful picture, and I'm going to frame it and I'm going to keep it, and it looks like him because it has a little smile. He has a little smile in his mouth, like it goes up like that.
You can add Cher to your list of celebrity owners.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
It is, isn't it?
Thank you.
Can I just ask you quickly, before we leave this, there clearly wasn't a light bulb moment after you lost all movement from your shoulders down to where you are now. But roughly speaking, how long was it before the balance tipped and the despair that you must have been in when you were told almost straight away after the accident, almost within hours after the accident, they said, that's it, you'll never walk again, you'll never move your arms again. What was the time lag? How long was it before you woke up one morning and thought, you know what, I think this is going to be OK?
I'd say it took me a full 13 months before I'd fully accepted what had happened to me. And, you know, that was 13 months full of a lot of physical trauma, mental trauma, a lot of an extreme amount of hard work and determination and, you know, a lot of kind of mental practice and all these things, teach myself new things each and every day. And it was 13 months of exhaustion and hard work and determination, but, you know, it's 13 months that was worth it. It requires a lot of patience, and acceptance does take a lot of time and patience. But having patience for that 13 months, being able to find that inside me and dig deep, 13 months of all that hard work for, you know, what is a future lifetime of happiness is worth it. And I just say to everyone, just trust yourself, have patience, because coming out the other side, you'll experience things like you never have done before, and it's worth the time and it's worth the effort.
Well, I think we in society in general owe people like you an enormous debt, because you define the word uplifting, and you make the utterly scary and the utterly indescribably awful, you humanise it and you move it forward. And I think you're an extraordinary human being, Henry, and I'm proud to sort of know you. And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Can I have a free painting, please?
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Henry
We'll
Fraser,
talk.
thank you so much. The Little Big Things is on stage now in the West End. It is brilliant, but don't just take it from me, because the king of the musicals, Andrew Lloyd Webber, said, I have just had the most exciting night in a theatre for years. A total triumph. This tale of conquering disability will be an international smash. Go see it.